Amen.
Yes.
Well, Robert Earl Dean, we're going to get into another great interview
Oh,
that
yes,
we have
another
with us
great one.
today.
Yes.
Who do we have with us?
We have one of the baddest keyboardists in the nation. This young man serves faithfully, and he is now doing some music on his own as well. So we're so honored and privileged. For you musicians that are listening across the world, this is one of the people you've been asking for. The one and only Mr. Rodney East. Good morning and welcome to the Wake Up Morning Show, my brother.
Good morning, man. How you doing?
Man, we blessed. We're blessed. I see that studio in there. That's where all the magic happens.
Oh yeah, I'm always working, man. I'm always working.
Yes. So what you got going on now, man? We're so used to seeing you behind some legendary artists. Now you are moving to the forefront, which I think is great.
Yes, sir. I've been able to step out into an area that I'm not, known for stepping into. I'm usually playing for the artists, but I've been able to release a project, February 2nd, Him and I compilation album, Him and I Volume 1, which which I'm featuring a lot of artists, that I spotlighted from off of social media, and then some artists that I've knew personally. So this has been in the making for a couple of years now, but this is just volume 1. But believe me, there are like many volumes because I got hundreds and hundreds of hymns that I've recorded and everything. So
Well, brethren, this is Dr. LT, and I just I don't want to beef with you this morning.
You always got to be.
But I want to say that I sent you about 15 tracks of me singing on all the things, and I didn't get one response, and I think the one response I got was "Help him, Jesus." No, here's the thing I want to ask you: is that when you begin to select artists that you're working with, how does it end? What is the impact? What makes you decide I'm good with working with that artist? Because you're a highly in demand MD.
well, spirit takes involves a lot with that connection with that artist, and you know there's a lot of prayer and everything that goes within that. I I ask God, how this connection is going to work, and I feel like I can work with any and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that type of person that I try to connect with the artist and make amazing music. So
Now I'm gonna ask you this question because back in the day, Pop Staples kind of got mad at Mavis
Oh, Lord.
because she was always hogging all the leads. So when he got his one solo that dum 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 dum, he basically did the whole thing. Have you ever gotten an opportunity where the artist says solo and you got so good they just walked off the stage and just let you keep on playing?
Oh, Lord.
no, that don't happen. I make sure I stay in my lane.
Right. You are the ultimate professional, and so many people speak so highly of you, man. So I think it's a blessing. And now I see God move you to the forefront. So we are going to get behind you and support you.
I appreciate that, man. The support means a lot, especially in this new endeavor that I'm doing. I've gotten a great response from everybody. I'm looking at numbers, and the numbers are showing that people really like hymns right about now.
Well, it's important. Hymns are the foundation of especially the African American church. And I think it's important for these musicians now to be educated and skilled because a lot of them don't know how to play Precious Lord. They start fumbling on the piano and you be like, huh?
You're right. It's a lot. It's a lot of young musicians, in this era that don't know hymns. I remember one particular time, a few years back, I was playing this song, and one few musicians had messaged me, and they was like, what is this song that you playing? It was "Tis So Sweet." So I was like,
What?
But us older, people, we recognize that, but it's just about making this music relevant again. A lot of young musicians think is that they got to learn just today's music, but like you said, hymns are the bedrock. I grew up on hymns.
Yes.
My dad passed, You know, I started playing organ at 7 years old. You know, on any given Sunday, the mother sitting across the church would stand up and sing any hymn in any key. So I had to be prepared. I had to learn. That was my, you know, my growing pains right there. I had to learn that. So, you know, I've always been an advocate of hymns, and I just want to make it fun for musicians. You know, I know I put my twist and everything on it, but I always stay to the foundation of the melody, you know, that they can grasp and understand. And a lot of people don't know that there's a backstory to a lot of these hymns that were written.
Oh, yes.
So,
I'm just trying to go ahead.
So let me ask you this question, because you're an MD, you know what I'm saying? You're not just a musician. Can you talk about the position of an MD from a business standpoint, a musical standpoint, and a spiritual standpoint?
Right. Well, an MD to me is not just the guy that can, you know, call out chords or tell people, you know, what to play, you know, or get music together. You know, an MD is a person who has to be able to get a group of individuals, a group of talented individuals together and have the same mission in mind to accomplish the same goal, and everybody be on one accord. You know, it's just not the MD that's gifted. You know, the MD has the ability to bring amazing talents together, you know, whether it be the bass player, the drummer, you know, a second keyboard player, a guitar player, you know, even an orchestra, you know, but just grabbing a bunch of guys and all of you all having the same goal collectively, as far as making whatever music that you all are going to make to the best of its sound, and bringing and accomplishing that goal.
Now, in your career, what is one of the biggest highlights that you've had as a musician or as an MD?
I know, and I probably haven't told this story a lot, but my biggest moment, I've played for Ron Isley. You know, I've been playing for Ron Isley. I was his MD for like about
Mr. Big?
Mr. Big.
All right.
10, 12 years. So one particular time we were playing over in Canada, and we was on the show with the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
So it was like this big festival in this park. Couldn't have it in an arena. This park had to have over a million people in it.
Jeez.
Wow.
They had acts like Justin Timberlake, Usher, Mary J. Blige, a whole lot of acts on this stage. The Isleys, of course, was on this act. So being on stage and just performing in front of a sea of people like that, it was like, you know, the crowd was just moving. They had big beach balls going all over the place. And it's so crazy because when the Rolling Stones made their entrance to the festival, all of them, each of them, I think it was about 4 or 5 of them in the band, they each individually had their own personal jet that flew them. You can hear the jets coming over the park, and they announced, they said, Rolling Stones has just made their entrance. So that was a crazy moment for me. But I've had many moments, but that one stands particularly out to me because I've never thought that that the gift that God has given me would allow me to play in front of that group of that much people, you know, that I can see, you know.
Wow, that's amazing. But you know how it says your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. Isn't it something how the Bible fulfills itself when you're in your purpose? Let's talk about purpose. Let's talk about being in purpose.
Purpose. I always pray that God, every morning, you know, I wake up, I pray that God allows me to fulfill my purpose. You know, it's just not my will, but it's His will that I want to make sure that I'm fulfilling. You know, we all have a purpose, and my dad has always taught me that we're not going to leave this world until God fulfills His purpose within us.
Yes.
As individuals. And I try to pass that on to other musicians that I come across. You know, we all each have an individual purpose. Your purpose is not my purpose.
Right.
And my purpose is not your purpose. You know, we all have to seek God individually and make sure that we're walking in that purpose, so that, you know, because a lot of people are watching us, whether we know it or not. A lot of people are looking at our moves and looking at what it is that we do and the lives that we live. You know, my life is not a sheltered life. You know, I'm in front of a lot of people you know, every day.
That's right.
So, you know, being viewed by a lot of people, God has, you know, allowed me to get, you know, audiences from Africa and Colombia. And it's like, you know, I want to make sure that my walk is lined up with how God wants me to walk, so that these individuals, because my life affects their lives.
Well, I'm going to ask this question because, you know, sometimes I could be a little nosy. So I'm just going to ask the question. Is it incense or candles that you light in your studio?
Candles.
Okay. You know why I asked that question?
What?
Because I see the lighter behind you.
Oh, yeah. I keep I got candles. I got candles all over. It's just, you know, to set my ambience and my vibe, you know, when I come down here. You know, I'm able to have a studio built down in the lower level of my house.
Right.
Whole studio. I have a control room, a vocal booth, and an entertainment area. But once I get in here, you know, I'm pretty much focused on what it is that I got to, you know, get done, and I want to be in a creative atmosphere that I know that, you know, I'll be able to come up with things creatively. So yeah, candles all around.
So I'm asking because you seem to be just very calm and soothing. Is there anything that just like get you hyped where you just walk in and just get crunk with it?
My girls, my three girls here at the house, they get me excited. You know, I could be down here working on stuff, and then, you know, I hear a little knock at the studio door, and I look out the window, and it's them. You know, so they get me hyped. That's my muse and my inspiration. You know, my three girls and my wife over here. So that every day.
What role does your wife play in your empire? Does she do anything musical, business wise?
She's the queen of the empire. You know,
right.
She handles business. You know, she makes sure she got me ready for this Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, you got to stop what you're doing. You know, whatever it is you're working on, you got to get this done. Right. She's keeping me on tabs with, you know, on top of everything that I have to do. You know, she's been a great help, and she continues to keep me, you know, on poise and keeps me grounded.
Yes.
You know, my parents used to keep me grounded. You know, they kept me grounded until I was able to marry and have a wife. Now she keeps me grounded.
Right.
And you know, she plays a very important part. You know, I couldn't do this thing without her.
Right.
So here you go. You get ready to go on a 2-month a junket tour. What is your going away meal before you get on the road?
There is no going. I get to the airport and whatever it is, I get to the airport. That's what I'm eating.
Oh no, not at the airport. I'm talking about when you get ready to leave home and the queen of your castle say, "Babe, you're gonna go for 2 months." What is the meal that y'all have together before she sends you off?
Oh, ain't no going away meal. You know, there's no going away
because it's coming
meal.
back.
If anything, she'll cook some breakfast or whatever. But if anything, if I'm out for 2 months, you know, in between that time, I'm gonna make sure that I fly her out wherever I'm at. You know?
Okay.
I'm not gonna be separated from my wife that amount of time. I'm gonna bring her and the girls out to wherever it is, what city that I'm at. They gonna come and see me, and you know, there's no disconnect with that. I make sure that our family is first. You know, I don't want to ever be that absent. You know, whether it's, you know, a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 5 months. You know, longest that I've been out on tour was about 8 months. You know, and I made sure that, you know, my wife was, you know, very present. You know, wherever city I was at, you know, at least twice, 3 times that month.
Right. What I was most proud of you was when you did that arrangement for my big sis when she was honored. Let's talk about that. You did that whole medley of her hits.
Are you talking about it, the Soul Trainer?
Yeah, he's Yolanda Adams' music director.
I know that, but I'm like saying, is that the one you're talking about?
Yes, he arranged it.
You almost maybe use a bad word.
Don't you cuss on this Christian station.
On the station.
The blood of
Boy,
Jesus against
you, woo, Jesus, that one was.
And you played. They let you played too. Let's talk about that.
That was amazing. That was amazing. You know, I've had a lot of moments where Yolanda, you know, I've been playing with her, you know, for like over 20 years. You know, a lot of people don't understand how relationships work. Relationship is big to me. You know, any artist that I work with, I want to make sure that I have a relationship beyond just some music.
That's good.
Relationship is important. But that particular performance, she was honored. She was the Queen of Soul. honored, got that award for Soul Train. And Adam Blackstone, of course, was the MD of that whole, that whole segment.
Mm-hmm.
And, Yolanda, of course, she came in, and told me that she was being honored. And then she had it was an 8-minute, I'll never forget, it was 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Wow.
That we put a medley of her hits. Of course, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis was there. So, of course, the hits that they wrote for her had to be involved in
right.
some of her biggest hits. And Adam Blackstone, he allowed me to, get that medley together, send it to them. His band rehearsed it. I was able to sit in. A lot of guys on those kind of shows, they'll take the artist's music and just play it themselves.
Right.
And he didn't have to, allow me,
right.
But because of the relationship, Yolanda was like, well, this is my MD, and Adam, very cool guy. He was like, man, I appreciate you. I got it together, sent it to them guys. We rehearsed a couple of times, and then, that was that. And that became an amazing performance.
It was amazing, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, it was amazing. I was proud of you.
It was fire. Now let me just say this, because I got emotional just a minute ago, because I saw your wife we got a sneak peek of the baby. And I was like, sitting up there like, oh, the baby. I thought we was going to have the girls come down and do a whole interview with us. And she gave us a sneak peek preview and then walked away.
Good. 2 of them are in e-learning right now. We still ain't nobody going to school right now.
Right.
2 kids are in e-learning, and then, my youngest, my 6-month-old, she's up, and the wife is, she's taking care of the day-to-day businesses,
right.
With the girls, as well as helping me. So she's wearing a lot of hats. So
right.
Hey, well, she gave us a sneak preview, and we were like, oh,
right.
So she popped in the back, and then she said, okay, he's still on.
Now let's talk about your latest single, because it's with a famous family member.
Oh yeah, Daniel Winans.
Yes.
He's the one. Let me tell you the story about that. I come across a lot of videos on social media.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I get sent like hundreds of videos every day of people like, man, can you put some music to this?
Yeah,
or
I know.
Yeah.
No, don't believe him, Rodney. He ain't sent you nothing. Don't believe that.
So I came across Daniel Wine, and I don't know what particular award show that was, but that song, He's the Wonder in My Soul, has been a classic.
Yes.
Him, as long as I can remember, and I ended up taking that and editing it and putting music to it, and I posted it a while back, a couple of years back, and he hit me on, I don't know him personally, but he hit me on, he DM'd me. He was like, wow, I've been getting messages all that morning when I posted. He was like, check out this video. And he had hit me. He was like, man, this is amazing what you did. And I was like, I appreciate that. And he told me the story about that. Him and Ron,
yes,
his big brother,
yes,
had wrote that song, had wrote the verse to that. And he says he sings that before he performs at any show. So when it came time to putting that song out, I wanted to do my due diligence, and I was like, I hit him and I said, I really want to put this on this compilation, album that I'm doing with him. And he was more than happy to allow me to do that. Of course, I'm making sure that I take care of the business,
right,
as far as hearing what I need to share with, each and every artist, because I just don't want to, take somebody's likeness. I want to be right with what God has given me, so that, I'm blessed in the end.
Amen.
What's your favorite saying at the end of everything you do?
Everything, and I drill this home. I first of all, I thank God for the gift and the responsibility.
There you go.
The gift. Just not having the gift, but you got to be responsible.
Yes.
With the gift, I always say, God didn't give me this gift; He loaned it to me.
Yes.
Amen.
At any given time, and I thank God for the gift, and I thank God for being responsible over the gift. So.
Yes.
Well, there you have it. One of the smoothest, talented, anointed MDs, musician, and now artist extraordinaire.
Yes.
This is none other than
the Rodney East.
And Rodney's new release that we're going to play today is He's a wonder in my soul.
They sing it
right
growing up
here.
in my church too.
Yep, on GOD Radio 1.
.com.